So recently on the channel, we've been talking quite a bit about the Steam Machine, which of course is launching in 2026, because I am a Steam YouTuber. But jokes aside, I am genuinely interested in this hardware for a multitude of reasons. One, I think it's kind of interesting to see the first modern device that's trying to bridge the gap between PC gaming and console gaming with a more consoleized focused experience, taking away some of the more intricate measures of PC gaming. And secondly, and most importantly, I love competition in the video game landscape. And I think if this is handled correctly and with a decent price point, that this could be something that potentially shakes up the industry quite a little bit. More competition is good, less competition is bad. But we have some new things to talk about involving the Steam Machine, the potential price point of this system, which has been getting a lot of discussions going on about it, and the big launch title that could or could not be happening, and it's Half-Life 3, because boy, oh boy, are people just insane. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about this. And we'll start off with the Half-Life 3 stuff, because, I mean, this seems to be a thing that happens every couple of years, where people get into their mind that Half-Life 3, or HLX as it's being sort of talked about, is actually going to happen. And with the launch of new hardware, it does kind of pique people's interest to see, well, maybe there's going to be something involving Half-Life 3 with this. There has been long-standing rumors that about 5 or so years ago, this game actually went into development with the codename HLX, as a game, when described, definitely sounds exactly like Half-Life 3 would be. Single player, narrative driven experience, aliens, weird stuff going on with it. So there is a little bit of a precipice to be had when it comes to Half-Life 3 potentially being a thing. Now, of course, that could just be something completely different. It could have nothing to do with Half-Life. The HLX sounds like Half-Life X, if anything, to me. And, you know, X is 10 in Roman numerals. I'm not that stupid. I don't think this is Half-Life 10. You know, where was Half-Life 7, 5, you know, Half-Life 7, Adrian's Revenge, Simpsons jokes. You gotta love them, folks. But yeah, so now recently, there's been more discussions about this. Some individuals went to a hands-on preview of the Steam Machine at Valve headquarters, and they noticed something kind of weird when they were in the building. There was armed security everywhere. Now, obviously, if you're a large company, you have a large online presence, that's not necessarily, you know, out of character. But I guess when it's press members and there's armed security, like, everywhere, that does make it a little bit strange, optically speaking. I guess they want to protect you and protect the building, but it definitely seems like it was more so, hey, don't veer off the path. This is what you're here to see today. So some people thought that that was involving Half-Life as well. Another listing went up on the Steam page that has people looking at it. Of course, now various gaming insiders have been talking about HLX, saying that they've heard things, so on and so forth. Jeff Keighley has been kind of teasing it a little bit, saying, oh, there's one Steam game that I'm really looking forward to playing. People think this could potentially be at the Game Awards as well. And of course, the big elephant in the room, the reason that this makes sense to so many people: Steam Machine launch title. If this were to launch on Steam and simultaneously on the Steam Machine as well as a day one launch title, it would sell units. Like, that would sell units, because people want to play Half-Life 3. Now, how many Steam machines would that sell is kind of the question, because that's where things get a little bit interesting. Because people are obviously, you know, Half-Life at its core is a PC game. Like, yes, you could play Half-Life 1 on the Dreamcast. You could play Half-Life 2 on your Xbox 360. But really, at the end of the day, these are games that are designed for PC gaming. Would people really be interested in playing it on a console under their TV if their PC is potentially more powerful? I mean, it just depends on the person. I'm not going to want to play the game on a PC. So if there's a console that allows me to play it and it's available on day one, maybe it comes packed in with a thing. You know, that's another thing that people are starting to speculate about. Maybe it's a free title that you get if you purchase the Steam machine. Okay, it worked for Mario Kart World. I don't think Mario Kart World sells, 10 million units if it wasn't bundled in with the system at that $80 price point or anything like that. It's probably about half of that. But it worked for Mario Kart World. Bundled games still can move units. And you got to imagine Steam. I mean, they're not like focused on it, like hyper focused on it, but you got to imagine that they are paying it to, or I should say Valve. You got to imagine that Valve is indeed paying attention to this. So it's kind of a perfect storm of events when it comes to Half-Life 3. Lots of rumors, lots of speculation, lots of people talking, hands-on preview events where there's armed security all over the place, people teasing things. But do I actually think Half-Life 3 exists? No, I really don't. Like, it would be cool. Trust me. I haven't played Half-Life 2 in a very long time. I would have to play through that story again. It would be great to see it because it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, it's almost like Hollow Knight, Silk Song. The best part about Hollow Knight Silk Song coming out is that people can now shut up about Hollow Knight Silk Song. And I definitely feel like Half-Life 3, it has been the game that has been like that the entire time. I just want people to shut up about the damn thing. I would love for it to come out. I would love for it to be a Steam machine launch title. I just don't think it is. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. And I honestly do hope that I am wrong on that. But keeping with the Steam machine thing, we got to talk about the price point because I've seen lots of things happening online with this price point. And at the end of the day, none of us know the price point of the system. None of us know how much this thing is actually going to cost, but the mentality has kind of been all over the place. Well, some analysts, some people within the industry have kind of honed in on a specific dollar amount that the Steam machine is going to run. And so I want to talk about this because I feel like people are saying, oh, that's more expensive than people thought it was going to be. And I'm like, no, that actually sounds very attractive. And considering a few different caveats that we can go into with this, I think it's a really good deal. So here is what's being said. Basically, people are starting to say they're looking at the Steam machine to launch in the $500 to $700 range, potentially as low as $400 if Valve is willing to take a little bit of a loss on this device. Now, I don't understand where the mentality of, oh, well, that's more expensive than I thought it was going to be comes from, because that's exactly where I've pinned it at. You got to remember, okay, with the Steam machine, there's two SKUs. There's a 512 and a 2 terabyte. If the 512 is $500 and the 2 terabyte is $700 or maybe even $800 or something like that, I think that's still attractive to people. And I think they can get the cost around. Like, look at the video game console landscape right now. Look at the PlayStation 5. Look at the Xbox Series X. Hell, look at the Nintendo Switch 2. The Switch 2 is $450. You're still paying for online. The PlayStation 5, over $500. Paying for online. Games full price. Xbox Series, who knows what those consoles are priced at nowadays. They keep going up, it seems like, every week. And you got to pay for online with that stuff. This is a machine that will play online games for free, has Steam games, which are generally cheaper than what you're getting on the consoles, and you have more flexibility and you have more freedom with this system as far as operating systems, emulators, because I will be doing some emulation on this thing, pal. I will be doing some emulation on this device, buddy, Jack, dude, brother. But like, I don't understand the mentality of people saying, "Oh, well, this is more than I thought it was going to be," and it's like, is it really? Like, what did you expect this to be? $100, $200, something like that? And now, if you're bundling, like, if you come out, bro, if you give me an option for the system, a controller, Half-Life 3. The 512 gigabyte bundle, and you're at $500 for that, that sells. That sells. Obviously people are going to want the larger terabyte model, so it'll be interesting to see what that is priced at. But $500, dude, that sells like very decent. I think it sells better than the Steam Deck. Completely honest with you, I think that sells better than the Steam Deck. And you have to remember, like I said in the video on Sunday, Valve they don't need this to be a huge success. This is not a pillar of their business. There's not going to be a middleman with this. They sell directly to the consumer. And when you do things like that, when you don't need this to be a money-driving machine, it's more so just an option for people to utilize the main function of your company, which is Steam, then you're going to be fine with whatever price point you have. I hope that it's between $500 and $700, because if it is, then I'm way more excited for it. And more importantly, my wallet is way more excited for it. But that's kind of the latest and greatest with the Steam machine. Obviously, a lot of different ways this can go. You might get Half-Life 3 as a launch title. I don't think it's going to happen, but you might. You might get it for $500. It could be $2,000. Who knows? Who knows? It's all speculation, but it is fun to talk about speculation. So let me know in the comments section down below. What are you thinking about all this? How do you envision this price point being? I've had people come by streams of mine, like when we did Analog Allies last week. Bro, they were all over the place with price points. It can't be 500. It can't be. It's got to be this much. It's got to be this much. And it's like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of different caveats that do go into this as far as how much this system is going to be. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.